Okay, so here's what we like to do. So remember I said this is a ground beef with tripe added to it. So I just grab a handful and I just kind of distribute it as evenly as possible. Some have more, some have less. And it helps to add kind of like a little bit of variety if we just add more and less to each spot. That's the ground salmon. So I try to give it a little bit of everything. Also, everything that we offer the dogs here, they've had these individually, so it agrees with their stomach. You know, this isn't something that is a mystery to them. They're familiar with it. They enjoy having it. So they're comfortable with it being mixed. So we have that there. I'm going to grab a handful of ground rabbit. Mix that in here. Just a little bit at a time. These end up being, for us, the easiest way to get them to eat an all-meat diet. We distribute it once a day. This is a once-a-day type of meal for them. So, and we've been doing this. We have a Chihuahua, and we have a Shih Tzu. The Chihuahua is 7 years old, Shih Tzu is 3 years old. We've been doing mixes or meal prep similar to this for, the better part of 7 years since we've had the Chihuahua. We just got the Shih Tzu 3 years after when the 7-year-old was 4. Actually 5, to tell you the truth. I don't remember. I had so much fun with the dogs, I just don't remember exactly when we got them. But since I've been doing an all-meat raw food diet for going on 14 years now, with these 2 dogs as well as a previous dog that I had before, I've had a lot of success with mixing various proteins. So like I said, once again, this right here, if I fill this up, it will eventually become right around 3.5 ounces. The 10-pound, she can do 3.5 ounces by herself. The Chihuahua, he's 15 pounds, so he gets at least one of these. Sometimes he gets 2 every few days, in addition to his 1. So I don't know if I told you about the quail. Remember the quail? So the quail, we add that in as well. And so that's how it looks. Like I said, it's... Gotta find my knife. Where's my knife at? I'm gonna move this out the way. Put the quail here. My wife isn't here, so I can cut this on the counter. I normally do this stuff when she's not here. Not that she throws out by it, but she prefers not to be available. So put a little bit of quail in there. And that's a leg there, so we'll probably just stuff that down in one of these. Throw some more meat on top. Now, when I do this, I try to at least get it even with it. Sometimes we do it where it's overflowing. And it's fine either way. Here's another quail right here. I don't know exactly what this section is, but... Probably time to sharpen this knife. I've been using this knife for a while, so we'll probably have someone sharpen it for us. Haven't decided what we're going to do exactly. Now, as you can see, as I'm piling this stuff into the muffins, each one is actually going to be a little bit different, but we try to do 3 different types of meat: ground beef, fish, and ground rabbit, along with the quail. Sometimes we actually mix it up. We'll have some other or different type of meat. I hope this content is not grossing anybody out. Like I said, I've been doing this for a number of years. I've gotten better over time, and the dogs have enjoyed it. Now, everything that we feed the dogs here, we have moments where if we're introducing a new protein that they've never had before, we try to give them a dry run on it, where we'll just feed them that protein by itself. See how they react to it, see how they do, see how it goes in, and as well see how it leaves their body. This has a tag on it. I haven't seen that before, that's a first. There goes the tag. We'll dump that in the trash here. So like I said, that's quail. With the gloves on, I know I'd like to take them off, but I'm kind of in the middle of something, so I'm just going to reach into the fridge. We have some other stuff. These are pork ribs. I don't know if you can see that. And these are crosscut. We're going to actually add that to the mix. So crosscut meaning there were ribs, and so here's a bone here, here's a bone here, here's a bone here, where my thumb is at. So we just cut one of those, add that to the mix. And like I said, each one of these provides them with the raw meaty bone portion of the meal. And like I said, once again, this is stuff that we know that they can eat. They've done it time and time again. Heck, they even did it this morning when I fed them. Typically when we do this sort of meal prepping like this, where we mix a bunch of proteins together, this tends to last us at least 2 months in between meal prep sessions. Should have bought more of this. Right now the dogs are very calm. They know what's going on. They know what's going on. I'm sure they can smell it. Sometimes I have them outwit me while I'm doing meal prep, and I throw them a little bit of something. But right now they're just kind of chilling, being very quiet, waiting to hear something hit the ground. All right, so that's the first one. We're pretty much done with this one. We might throw a little bit more meat on top. So right now I'm just kind of flattening it down, kind of filling up the muffin cup hole. And so I'm going to set this aside. Actually, I'm going to set it over here. Let me grab the other one. Set this right here. Probably need to take a little time to rearrange a few things. So give me a moment while I think about it. We'll set it right here. That'll stay. Yep, that'll stay. All right. So now we have. So also, forgot to add. We also have some chicken hearts. I don't know if you can see that there. So we like to add as much variety as possible. So these are just chicken hearts. So we'll add that to it. So each one of these holes, muffin holes, will have one chicken heart. And then we'll just dump that in here. And we're done with that. And so we'll also take the rib meat, which we're actually almost out of, so I like to try to utilize as much of it now as possible. We'll add that to the chicken heart. There's a bone right here. So yeah, it's definitely time to sharpen these blades or get a new knife. Probably just take it somewhere and sharpen the blade. This actually has quite a large chunk of bone in it, so what I typically do for stuff like this goes to my other dog, the Chihuahua. He's a deer-head Chihuahua. He can fit this into his mouth much better than the Shih Tzu, so we're going to set this off to the side. Now we're going to put some meat. So we got some beef ring tripe and ground beef. Just going to loosely spread that. And we're going to take some salmon, drop a few chunks of that in there. Try to make sure each hole has one, or has some bit of salmon in it. Like I said, some more, some less, we're not really particular about it. And the ground rabbit. No matter what mix or combination we come up with here, all this stuff is proven to be good with the dogs. Like I said, it goes in good and it comes out good. It comes out with a nice small stool. One of the best benefits of the all-meat diet that we give is that we tend to balance it over time through various mixes. Sometimes we add a little bit of egg. And so now, once it gets kind of partially full here, we begin pressing this down, seeing how much is in there, seeing if we need to add some more stuff to it. Once again, this is ground rabbit, so we're just going to kind of top everything off with the ground rabbit. Now this quantity mix of meat, we have 4 pounds of ground rabbit, we have 5 pounds of salmon, 5 pounds of ground beef, so what's that, 14 pounds of ground meat? This typically will last us, like I said, once again, roughly 2 to 3 months. We feed the dogs once every 24 hours. Sometimes they don't eat. They don't eat every 24 hours. Sometimes they go 36 hours before they're ready to eat again. One thing I found out is that meat, no matter what form it's in, ground or whole, meat is 70% water, or moisture is what they like to call it on the wrapper, but 70% water. So once you start feeding like an all-meat diet, you can add other stuff to it, but it will really hydrate your dog. Your dog is very hydrated from eating an all-meat diet. That's really one of the best benefits that we've noticed in the years that we've done this. When we feed them food, right around the 8-10 hour mark, they're ready to go pee-pee. They have their first bowel movement almost 12 hours to be exact. It's almost 12 hours on the dot. Both dogs have their first bowel movement right around the 12-hour mark. So that's part of the reason why we feed them one meal a day. They typically will have the first bowel movement in 12 hours. And then as the day goes on, they'll continue to have more frequent bowel movements, with, less and less, obviously. We'll probably put another heart in there. Help fill up the space. I don't know what that is. I've been using this. I actually came across this actual tin. Came across it by accident in Walmart. It was the only one available. I needed an actual another tin because I have two 12-count tins and I also have a 6-count tin, muffin tin. And I needed to use more. I was looking for something a little bit bigger. So picked this up, ended up running back to the same Walmart, picked up another one, and it has been a huge blessing because when we do our meal preps like this is like a once every 2-3 month type of situation for us. And when we do the meal prep like this, we try to do it over a period of days. We'll let these freeze, and then we'll throw them out for 10-15 minutes, and then use a butter knife, we'll pop them out, and we have all these cubes, and we bag it up, put it out in the freezer, and then we might make up another batch another day later. So I'm going to pause here, and we'll move on from here.